Okay. Good morning, everyone. So you're welcome back
Good morning, sir.
you're
Good
welcome
morning, sir.
to today's BMC Data Analysis Masterclass. This is I can say maybe the fourth or the fifth this year. Actually, we intend to make it a kind of a monthly or 2 weekly affair, but I think we'll get there. We believe this is one of the way by which we can also give back to the community and empower people with the little we can do from bottom of the concept. So we are holding this class as a um, pre-class to the forthcoming BMC Data Analysis Masterclass that we're going to start in August. So we're going to start the class by August 3rd. It's going to be a 10 weeks class, and we're going to learn a lot of things which we are going to discuss as we continue with the class. So today, we are going to focus on Power Query. How many of us have used Power Query before? If you have used Power Query, can you talk to me? Let's hear what can you say about Power Query in either Excel or Power BI.
Hello, sir.
Hello, your name,
I have
please, Mr.
Ido Wufale is my name, sir.
Okay, sir.
From
Go ahead.
Ekiti State.
I know.
I've worked with Power Query before on Power BI and on Excel. It is a
Okay.
tool that is used for transformation of
Okay.
data
Okay.
before the real analysis.
Okay. Good. We use Power Query to transform data before the full data analysis. Great. Who else? If you have also used Power Query before, you can also unmute and talk to me. Okay. If you have not used Power Query at all, you have not used Power Query at all before, you can also, can you talk to me that you've not used Power Query especially in Excel? Or you can respond with no in the chat box. If you have not used Power Query before, respond with no. If you have used Power Query before, respond with yes in the chat box. Okay, Amos Blessing. Amos, I think you've attended our classes before, or free class before on Power BI. Amos Blessing. I think you must have. I think your name sound very common to me. Amos Blessing. Can you unmute?
Good morning, sir. I've not
Hello.
attended on this series before. It was on Excel.
On Excel. Okay, you've not attended the Power Query before. Because I can see your name, I can see that name, I know the name is a regular attendant to our master class. Thank you for being with us always. Okay. Okay. No, yes, no, sir. Okay. No, I've not used it before. Okay, no problem. So we are going to kickstart the class. Please, let's remain muted. And if you have your workbook with you, you can also open the workbook by the time we get to the practical section. If you don't have it now, please download it so that as we are doing, we're going to make it a practical class. We have just like 2 hours, and within the 1 hour 20 minutes we are going to do the class, and the last part of whatever we're going to discuss and have a question and answer. So now we're going to start with introduction to Power Query. Like Mr. Falaya rightly said, when you talk about Power Query Power Query in Excel is that is a tool, one of the powerful tool that has been introduced by Microsoft to help the users of Microsoft Excel to be able to analyze data more powerfully than it used to be with just ordinary Excel. I think from 2010 or 2013, Power Query has been embedded into Excel, but in 2016 edition, I think it became a kind of common tool in Microsoft Excel. So we're going to see where we get Power Query in Microsoft Excel when we get to the practical section. So we use Power Query to clean our data. If you have attended, I think we've done some free classes on data cleaning and Power Query before. Maybe after the class, you can request for the link. I'm going to share the link with you, but I could not. I will not. I may not be able to go to that now. So, and we've also learned how to do data cleaning with text function in one of our classes also. So where you can use text to clean your data without going out of Microsoft Excel. So we also have that. But today we are going to look at Power Query, an aspect of Power Query called joins. We use join to connect two tables together. We want to get information from two tables. We use Power Query. We use join in Excel, join in Power Query to join them together. So that is simply what joins is. Join is used to connect two tables in Power Query for analysis or for comprehensive report. There are different ways by which you can join your data. Let's look at this small table. You can see here we have a customer table on the left, and we have the other table on the right side. So I'm going to just use this. I will just use this to explain what join is all about. But we are going to use the practical. We are going to do the practical section with the data set I sent to the group. Now, if you look at this table, we have a table on the left called a customer table. That is called. We are going to use the name left table for this. The left. And we're going to call this one a right table. We can also call this one the left one. We can also call it table 1, and the right table we call it what? Table 2. So we call this table 1, and we're going to call the other one table 2, which means customer table is going to be left table, and the other table is what? Right table. Please, if you cannot hear me, please let me know. Now, let's look at this. Sometimes we have two tables, and we want to find the customers that ask order. You can see we have 3 customers there. We have 2 orders there. In a real world, we can have like 50 customers, and we can have like 6,000 rows of orders in a real world settings. But in this case, we're going to use a small table to explain this. Now, we want to know the customer that asks orders. The customer that actually make order
Ever.
by hello. Okay. So we want to know the customer that actually order for one product or the other. So from here, we all know that we only have 2 customers, which is called customer 1 and customer 3. That is Alice and Charlie. Now, what join will do for us is that we want to find the customer with orders. The first type of join that we're going to use is called inner join. Sometimes you want to know the intersection between two tables, where the table match the other table. We call it what? We call it inner join. We call where the tables, where one table meets the other table, we call it inner join, which means that where the customer table equals to the other table is going to reverse to as what? Inner join, the intersection between the two. That is the first type of join we're going to look at. Then, okay, let me do something. I think, what do you think? Should we explain all the join, or we should take example? We should just do a kind of example after each of the join. What do you think? Can you clear
I
it?
think we should do a sample after each of the joints, so that it will be very clear.
Okay, who else again has another? If you have any contrary opinion to that, do you think we should just learn the theoretical part and we focus on the practical, or we should be doing it side by side?
Yes, sir.
Is that what? I can't hear you. You can use the chat box if you want us to use. Want to do practical, theoretical first, or you want side by side. You can just type side by side or theory first. Let me know what you want. You can use theory first or side by side, so that we will know where we're going. Use the chat box to respond, please. Somebody has suggested that we should be doing it as a side by side, which means that we'll close this and launch the Excel. Side by side also by Amos. Okay. Okay, I think let's go by side. Let's go by that. Something came to my mind, that's why I asked the question. My plan was to finish this before we go to that, but let's go to side by side. Okay, so I'm going to let me launch my Excel. I'm going to launch my Excel. Okay. Okay. I hope we all have this workbook with us, where we have two tables there. We have budgeted expenses and actual expenses. Hope we have the tables.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. You can see my screen now, right? Like
Yes, I can see
somebody
it right.
blocking
I
my
can see it
view
now.
before. Okay. So, okay, we have two tables there, just like what we had before. We have customer table, and we also have the other table, which is the other table. This case, we're going to make use of expenses. Sometimes, if you work perhaps maybe in accounting or as accountant, there are times when you have the budget and you have the actual spend, and you have a need of generating reports. comparing this and this together. So in this case, we are going to make use of two things in this class, or in this example. We're going to make use of Power Query to first summarize the data and do the join to show us the join. Before we do that, how do we connect to Power Query? Please look at my screen, everyone. How do we connect to Power Query? Under data in your Excel, can you see data? You will see get data, get and transform data. When you see this, that is where your Power Query is. Wherever you can see get data or get and transform data. So where you see this is where your Power Query is. Which means that if you want to connect to Power Query, you can connect to the Power Query from here. This is Microsoft. We are currently on Excel workbook. But to get to Power Query, click on data. You're going to see get data from your computer. It may look different from my own, but you can always see it get data from your system. If you can allocate that, please use an emoji to respond in the chat box. If you have located your Power Query, your data tab, you have seen get data. Please use an emoji on the chat box. Okay. If you are finding difficult to get your data, type no in the chat box. If you can't get to your get data. Okay. Now, let me assume that everyone has gotten that with the response I have. So now, there are various ways by which we can connect to our data in Excel under Power Query. We can connect to text file or CSV file. We can connect from the web. We can also get data from file, from Excel workbook, CSV, XML, JSON, PDF. But in 2016, you may not be able to connect to PDF. 2016 may not connect to PDF. So, but you can see various data sets that you can connect to from the Power Query. So, but for the purpose of the class, because we are already in the workbook is already with us here. So what we're going to do is we are not connecting from outside. We are going to get our data from a table or range. If you have a table in your computer in your Excel, you just connect with a table. If you have a range of numbers, a range is a number that are not grouped together as a table. For example, let's say we just have this. Let me copy this and paste it here. This is a range. Why this is a table? We have a range here. How do you identify range and table? You can see they look alike in color. But when I click on this, you look up, you see a table design up here. Can you see a table design? When I click on this, nothing is showing. This is just ordinary range. So to connect your data, to connect to a table or a range, you have an option in your Excel where you have from table or from what? From range. So I'm going to delete this to avoid the confusion. Let me clean the format there. Okay. So I'm going to click on this now. I click on the first table, which is what? Budgeted table. Then I click on data, then click on from table or range. I select from table or range. It's going to open my Power Query automatically. Now you can see that another interface entirely is coming up, which is not the regular Excel that we are used to. This is called Power Query Editor. Um, Mustafa Moraina, you said no. What is no? You can't connect to is it that you can't connect, you can't locate your Power
The
Query
problem is I
or
can't
what?
find some table or range on my system here.
Can you share your screen or you screenshot your screen to me? Perhaps you are using 2016 or 2013. Which office are you using? 2016 or 2013? Office 2016 or 2013? Which one are you using? Or 2007? I don't think you can find it 2007 if you are using 2007. I don't know.
2010. 2010.
2010. 2010. I think you have a special way of getting it 2010 or 2013. I don't think, okay, share your screen with me first. Let me see. Let me see if I can be able to help. Share your
Okay.
screen. When you share your screen, click on, you see share button on your Google Meet. When you click on share button, then
I'm
share your
not
screen.
using screen to do the video. I'm using phone.
Okay. Okay, no problem.
So,
Maybe you can follow the class and later you can practice when you get how to look at that.
okay. Okay.
Okay. Just follow the class.
Sorry, coach. Sorry.
Okay.
Can you just repeat where you got this one from?
Okay. Let me close this. I select, I just click on one of the tables, which is the first table. I click on the first table, which is budgeted what? Expenses. I click on the table. Then on my data tab, under the get data or get and transform data, depend on the kind of Excel you're using, you will find from table or range. From table or range. Moran, under your data tab, can you see get data? Or what can you see? What option do you have under your data tab? In my own case, you can see I have get and transform data, query and connections, sort and filter, data tool, forecast,
Yes,
outline. Which
I
one can
can
you
see
get?
get external data, connection,
Okay.
soft and filter, data tools, outline and
Under
analysis.
your under the you say get external data. We don't I don't
Okay.
What about the other one?
Connections.
What do you have under connections? What do you have there?
I have an how to quick access to
Toolbar. Okay, just worry. Don't worry. We'll look at that later. Look at how you can resolve
Okay.
the 2010 Excel. You need to upgrade your Excel to 2016, at least 2016 for data analysis.
All right.
You
All
get
right,
it
sir.
now. You need to
Okay.
upgrade to at least 2016 or 2019 or
All right.
2021 for data analysis. You get it now. 2010 may not give
Yes,
you
sir.
perfect
Yes, sir.
analysis in whatever. Okay. Now somebody said I should go back to how we get there. So I selected, just click on any cell in the first table. Go to your data tab. You see from table or range, select this option. It's going to open your Power Query automatically. If you are done, if you have connected to your budgeted expenses, type yes in the chat box. Yes, if you have connected, yes in the chat box. That's the first one. We are connecting the first table, which is budgeted expenses. Yes in the chat box. If you have connected the Power Query, yes. Okay. Yes, again, if you have connected your Power Query, type yes in the chat box. Great, great, good. Okay, now I want to connect the other data. If I have external source, I could have used this new source, and I will select the source. But in my own case now, data I'm looking for is still within the Excel here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to load this. I'm going to load these expenses. On the left side, you see close and load. Can you see close and load? I'm going to select this and click close and load. Just load only. Don't load to anywhere. Just close and load. So we have the data on one sheet here. So let's go back to sheet 1 again. I'm going back to sheet 1 now. After you load, it will load to one sheet. Then you can go back to sheet 1 and click on the second table. Do the same thing. From table orange, it will also be connected to Power Query Editor. So by then, you will have the two tables, the two queries on the left side of your Power Query Editor. If you have not used a Power Query before, after the class, you can request for the link for previous classes that we've had on Power Query. So I'm going to share with you previous classes that we've had on Power Query. So connect the two tables. So we have budgeted expenses and we have the actual expenses. Two tables have been connected in our Power Query editor. So you can see the Power Query editor at the top. This is Power Query. One of the fantastic tools that Microsoft has introduced to Excel. And this is the data that helps Excel. This is a data tool that helps Excel to work on large data. When you talk about big data, Power Query is a tool that has been helpful to Microsoft Excel to be able to analyze large data. Unlike in Excel only has how many rows? 1,400,000, 1,000,000 and for something rows. So what happens when you have a data set with 5 million rows? Power Query has been helpful in such a data, summarizing the data, and we have Power Pivot to the rescue in the analyzing such a data.
Sorry, coach. Sorry. After you
Right.
did the second one, well, after you did the second table, when we did the when we loaded it. Then in
Yeah.
my own, it took it to separate sheet, budgeted expense and actual expense.
Yes, because that means you've loaded it. You click on loaded.
Yes.
That is the
Yeah.
reason why you have
Close
it
and
on
load.
a spreadsheet. Yeah. Well, to
Yeah.
get back to where we are, what do? To
Okay.
get back to where we are, just double click on any of the two tables. On the right side, you're going to see query and connections. Can you see it on the right side?
Okay.
Double click on any of them. It will take you back to Power Query.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Are you back? Are you back in Power Query?
Yes.
Okay, good, 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 good. So next thing we're going to do now is, if we want to create join, assuming we want to analyze all this data like on monthly basis, we want to check them side by side, month by month, we can actually create a join directly like this. But I want us to first let's summarize, let's collect everything into one table so that we can understand the concept very well. So to summarize this, we're going to use like a 2 or 3 step. I'm going to select January. I click on January, hold your shift, hold shift, then select the last one here. Can you see what I've done? I want to collate everything together. I want to straighten it. In analysis, it's easier to work with a long data than a wide data. When your data is too wide, especially when you have so many headings that are pointing to the same thing, it's going to make your analysis difficult. So what we are doing now is I have selected January to December. Then you come to transform, click on transform, and click on um, column on pivot columns. I'm going to click on pivot column. Let's see what happened. Please look at me first before you do your own. Now, I've been able to create a long list. Now, we have a category. The attribute can be changed to month. Let me change it to month. Month. And we have is our sales figure. Please don't do it. I'm going to give you time to practice. Look at me, please. Can you see what I've done now? I'm going to do it again. I'm going to remove this and remove this next step here. We have January to December as a separate figure. You can see them here. So what I want to do now, I want to select everything. I can click on the first one, hold Control, and continue. It is possible. I can click on them one by one, like this. It is possible. But to make it faster, select the first one, hold Shift, and move to the right side. Select the last one. So we're going to have everything selected. Can you do that now? Select the entire month, January to December. Click on the first one, hold your Shift, and then go to the last one, which is December. Have you done that? Then click on pivot column. On pivot columns. So you have it in, you have your data in a long form like this. All rent, January to December, utilities, January to December. You can see everything under this. So I can click on this attribute. I double click on attribute and I change it to what? I change it to months. 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 And the value. Let's leave value here. Let's leave value here. Then I'm going to select the other expenses also, the other table. I'm going to do the same thing. Select January, move to the extreme right, hold your Shift to the extreme right, do the same thing on pivot column. After selecting January to December, click on pivot column. So you have it the same way. Select this, you double click on the first one and make it months. Months. So we have it January to December. So the same thing we did on the first one, we repeated it on the second one. So call it months. Okay, sorry, months. Okay, so budgeted expenses, actual expenses. That is the first step we're going to take. The second thing we're going to do here, we are going to do what is called group. We want to group everything and summarize. We want to summarize this data now. Go back to the Home tab. You see under Transform, you see Group By. Group By. I'm going to select Group By. I'm going to select Group By. Then I want to group by category. I want to group everything by the category. I want category. Here, I want to have my but actual expenses. Actual expenses. Actual expenses by what? By adding which column together? Value. What I want to do is I want to have all rent added together. I want to sum all rent together. I want to sum all utilities together. I want to sum all insurance together. So to do that, the option available for us in the Power Query is what? Group by option. Group by. If you want, assuming you want to analyze by month, assuming you want to use month, you can select month. But in this case, let's stay with category for now. So the name of our new table, the name of our new column that we want to have is what? We want to have a column called um, total sales, or sorry, actual expenses. Actual expenses. By doing what? By adding together all column value. Then I'm going to click OK. So we have the data actual expenses as you can see here. Is that clear? Is it clear? Or as we do it once more? Okay, I'm going to do the other expenses. So I'm going to see the other one. No. Okay. It's not clear to you, Jibril? Okay, let me do the other one now. You're going to see how I'm going to do it on the budgeted expenses.
Hello, sir.
Hello?
Hello, sir.
I'm
Yes,
on
sir.
hold.
In the actual table, sir, we have about
Yeah.
3 columns. Why is this one in the? I mean, in the table that we group into this type of table, we have 3 columns, which comprises of a category, month, and actual expenses. Why is this one
Yes.
now reduced to 2, sir?
Because we only summarize everything by category. We did not add month again.
Okay, sir.
When we finish, we are able to get to group by today. You're going to see how to add more columns also. Is that? But I want us to have the idea
Yes,
of
sir.
what is all about. What is this all about? That's why I did not summarize the data before sending it to you. So let me do on the other table now. Mr. Jubril, please focus on my screen. I'm clicking on the budgeted table. Now, Mr. Jubril, do you know how we get to this place? How we created this? Is that clear? How we use
Partially
one
clear.
table?
I'll just following.
Partially
Yes.
clear.
Yes.
Okay, good. But once you get the recording, you can still get it better. At least it makes
Okay.
sense to you. Okay,
Okay.
so
All right.
let me just take one more step again. Select the first column. What I want to do is in analysis, when you want to summarize all this together, we can use so many ways by which we can add the column and sum all this together. You get it now? But the easiest way to do that is just to create, or I want to unpivot them instead of, in pivot table will group your this thing under different headings. But that's what we want to do. We want to unpivot it. We want them to be on a straight line so that we can summarize it together once. That's what I want to do now. So I click on the first one, hold my shift, and select the last one. If you click on control, you'll be selecting one by one. But shift will allow you to click to select everything once. Then I went to transform and I click on pivot column. I don't want the pivot column like this. It's already pivot like this. This is like pivot table. I click on pivot column and it created this for me. Everything was now on a long form. This is more useful when you are doing data analysis than the other one. So I changed this one to months. That was what we did earlier. Now, the second thing we want to do, I want to summarize this data now. We want to group, we want to know the total category, total rent, total utility, total of each of the expenses. How do we do that? You go to Home tab. You're going to see Group By option here. Click on Group By, and you have, I want to group by category. The reason why it brought month, because currently I click on month. That's the reason why month is the first option I can see here. I can just click on this and change to category. If I want to focus on month, I will use month. I can use month. I say, okay, I want to have total sales. Look at my screen, please. by doing what? By doing the sum of, I want to do the sum of the value, the column called value here. When you sum it, I want to sum a monthly basis. Look at this. We are going to have something like this, January to December. That means we have the same budget every month. Wow. But I'm not going to use this. I'm not going to use month. I'm going to change it to what? To category. And click OK. So we have category. We have the category now. So that is how we get to this place. Is it clearer now, Mr. Jubril?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so now we have actual expenses as a summarized form. We have budgeted expenses in a summarized form. Now we are getting to where we want to create join now. We want to create join now. How do we do that? To create join in Power Query, we're going to make use of this option in the Home tab called Merge Query. Merge Query. So click on Merge Query. I'm going to use this option, Merge Query as new, so that we can see it side by side. I'm going to name them one by one. When you have your table summarized, click on Merge Query as new. Merge Query as new. There is a table here. Oh, which table is going to be our, we are going to, let's make budgeted our left table and the actual our right table. This is table 1, budgeted, actual, table 2. Is that clear? So I'm selecting budgeted table. Then I'll go to merge query as new. So we have budget at the top and we have the actual table down. Can you see the two tables now? We want to perform the first kind of join that we have here was what? Inner join. We want to explain what inner join means, right? Remember, this was where we were before we went to practical section. Inner join. So now next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to select the category column and select the other column here. I want to join the two tables together. But what I can use to join them together is category. Oh, why did I change this one to total sales? Sorry, there's a mistake here. This is not total sales. Is what's the name here? Here.
Budget.
Eh?
It's budget expenses.
Is the expenses, thank you. Budgeted expenses. Budgeted expenses. That is what we have here. Great. So let me go back to joins now. So I select the merge query as new. Now I want my first table to be at the top, which is budgeted expenses, and we have this down, actual expenses. I select this drop box, drop down. Now I connect this column with this column. You can see the green tick here, which means that the column have the same similarities in the content. Now the next thing I'm going to look at the join kind here. You have something here called what? Join kind. What do you want to do? We want to get an inner join. Click on this and then click on OK. I selected inner join. It will only select the matching rows, all the rows that are in both tables. Click on OK. Now we have this row. These are the rows that we have that are common to the two tables. Then the next I'm going to do now is we have category, budgeted expenses. But here, what do we have here? We have table. We don't know what table means. You will see at the top here, you see an arrow facing different sides. Can you see this arrow facing different sides? Click on it, and then you're going to select We don't need category again. We only need what? Actual. We want to see the actual expenses, and then you can uncheck this also. Click OK. Now you can see the budgeted expenses and actual expenses are here side by side. That is inner join. Let's see. So there are some questions under this. That we have some questions under the Excel. What name do what? There we have some questions there. The first question was sorry. Okay, sorry. Let me open this. Let me open it here. Oh, Power Query is still working. I can't. I cannot. Okay, later. I will. Can you read the first question to me? Or the first question or the third question about inner join? There are some questions under the analysis I sent to you. The data set. Close and load. Let me load it and come back here. So we have sheet 1. So let's look at number 3. The third question here. It says compare the expenses that appear in both tables. Expenses that appear in what? In both tables. So if you check this analysis that we have now in a match, you can see the expenses that we have that are common to both tables. So let me double click on it again to get back to Power Query. Just double click on this, you go back to Power Query. So I'm going to rename this. I will call it inner join. Under the property here, you can just come here, call it what? Inner join. That is our first join here. So you can see that we have the expenses budgeted, we have the actual expenses side by side. Using what? Using Power Query Editor. So the second type of join, is any question on this, on inner join?
No questions, sir, but I have a general question. I want to ask if it is possible to create a relationship between two tables on this Excel.
Yes, you can create relationship. Now, but the relationship is not going to be in Power Query, it's going to be in Power Pivot. Relationship is in Power Pivot, not in Power Query. Is that clear?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. You can't create relationship here. You create relationship in Power Pivot. You know, even in Power BI, relationship are created in Power BI, not in Power Query. Is that clear now?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. There's no relationship. There's nothing like relationship here in Power Query. There's not a relationship here. There's no like relationship here. What we only have what? Okay. Let's add quality under the view tab. But if you are using 2016, you may not have this column quality in your home. So let's go back to the home tab. So let's get the second join. The second we're going to look at here is called we're going to look at the second type of join here is going to be left outer join. We call it what? Left outer join. So left join, what we call left join? Left join is when you want to have all rows, all information from the left table. You know, the first one we did, we want to see what data we have in both tables. And but the second one now, we're going to let's look at the table itself again. Let me close this and look. Let me explain what we have, what happens to the table. Look at the table very well. This table has how many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? This table has how many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can you see? This table has 7 rows. This table has how many rows? 6 rows. Can you tell me what we have in the category, in the budget that we have in actual expenses? Can somebody unmute and talk to me? What do we have under the budgeted expenses and we don't have it under actual expenses? Mr. Musa Muibi, can you talk? Are you still there? Mr. Muibi Musa?
Yes, sir. Miscellaneous.
We have miscellaneous under
Can you hear
budgeted
me?
expenses.
We have
Yes,
it in budgeted, but not in actual.
in actual. Great. Now,
That's the only one.
okay. Mr. Mutiu, what expenses do we have under actual? Don't have under budgeted. I can't hear you.
Insurance.
We have insurance and what?
Miscellaneous.
We have insurance and we have healthcare.
Miscellaneous.
We have
Okay.
we don't have
Healthcare.
no, we don't have insurance here. We have insurance and healthcare. Yeah. These two are not available here. This one is available here. Can you see now? Now, this remember this is our first table, table 1. This is table 2. The table 1 is our left table. Table 2 is our right table. We want everything from the table, from the left to A. We want everything on. Look at the first one we did. The first one we did, we only have 5 tables because the only 5 that are the same to 2 tables were the actual return that we have. Can you see? Miscellaneous is not here. Insurance is not here. Healthcare is not here. That's why we call it what? Inner join. Is that clear? Now, this time around, we want to return. First one, we want to see everything, all the column from the budget table to compare with the same column, the same rows under what? Actual expenses. Which means that we want everything from this column. Is that clear? What I'm going to do? So let's go back to Power Query and see how to handle that. So I click on budgeted expenses again. Then we have under the merge query, you see merge as new. I want to create another one. We're going to call this one a left join. Look at it. This is our left table, right? We want to make this our left table. It's not a fixed, if you like, you can make this on your left table. Get it? But I'm just making this a left table so that for learning purpose, we're going to make budgeted our left table. The one at the top is the left table. The one down is the right table. The second one is what? Actual expenses. Now, under the column to create a relationship between them or to join them with. Under the join kind, left outer join. All column from the left from the first table matching from the second. We want every column, everything from the first row to compare what is applicable here. Let's click OK and see what we have. Okay. We have the second table. Look at it now. We have everything from the left table, including miscellaneous. But let's expand the actual table. Click on expand. Check this. Check the actual expense and check this. The reason we check this is that it's going to make the name to be too long. Now we remove this checkbox here. We don't need any prefix. Click OK. So now we have budgeted and actual. What happened to miscellaneous here? 0. Everything from the left table is out with the related row in the right table only. Only the ones that are related are here. No healthcare from this table, from actual. There's no healthcare here. and there is no um, insurance in this result. Let's give it a name. We call it what? Left join. Can you see how fast it is to quickly summarize your data? If you have any number of rows, it doesn't matter. You're going to get you're going to summarize it just like this: 5 million rows, 1 million rows, 300,000 rows. It's going to summarize it very fast like this for you. Any question on this? You can see that it's just the same process between the same way we created inner join that we created the left join. Just that we select the left join to show everything from the left table. Any question
Listen,
on that? Yeah.
is there any difference between left join and left outer join?
Left join and left outer join, the same thing.
Okay.
Left outer join, left outer join, left join, same. One of the different is called anti-join, anti-join. You are going to get there. That's why they call it outer or left join, because there's another left anti-join. Okay, so I think with this, when we want to do the right outer join now, you're going to you understand what we mean by right join. So let's click on the bucketed expenses. Let's open under merge as new query, and deliberately I keep them. I'm keeping them. That's why I'm renaming them and started new one again. We want everything from the right table this time around. We want to show everything from the right table to compare with the budget we have on the left table. There is it. The right outer join. Look at our example that we had earlier. That is the example we have about the sales and the customer. In the left join, we can see we want to list all products and their sales, all the product and their sales value. So which means that all the order, all the product will show. But on the right table, if we want all customer, okay, sorry, in left join, that is all customer may show using the data we have earlier. But now, if you want everything from the right table to show, everything from the right table to show, we're going to make use of what is called right join. In this case, we want to see everything under the actual expenses. I think that's question 2. That should be the question 2 on the question we had here. That should be the question 2 we have on the sheet 1. Question 2. We want to compare the actual spent we want to use the actual spent as a basis and compare what with the budgeted amount. What do we do? Let's go back to the analysis. Um, the Power Query rather. Okay. Now let's merge query as new. Merge query as new. New. I click on new. Merge query as new. I didn't want to change the actual table. That is why I'm using new table. So click on this and select actual expense. This time around, what are we going to do? We're going to select what? Right outer join. Click on the column and click OK. We want everything from the right table to show. Something is happening. Can you see something different here? We have null under the category here. Null, null. Okay. What do? We can quickly expand this. This time around, this we want to use all the name from the right table. We are going to leave the category check. Click OK. Now you can see now we have category. So since we don't need this, we just come to this column and remove this column only. Remove this column and drag this to the front. You drag this to the front. So we have the category, budgeted, and actual. You can see these two, since they are not in this, we have zero balance. This is called right join. Right join. Right join. Right join. Oluwakemi, Oluwasami, are you following? Is it making sense at all? Mr. Jubril, is it making any sense? Ali,
Yes, yes, yes.
Amos Blessing, Ifoma, is it making any sense to you at all?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay, good.
Hello, sir.
So that is hello, Mr. Faleye.
Yes, sir. It means that from this analysis now, that there is no money budgeted for healthcare and insurance. Now,
Exactly.
analysis.
Because we are using actual as what? As the basis. You get it now. First, on the left
Okay,
one,
sir.
we are using budget as the basis. There's no money for miscellaneous under actual. You get me? Under the right now, we are using the right table as what? As the basis. Which means to see everything on the right
Okay.
to compare with the left one. Is that clear? So the next one we're going to look at, we're going to look at full full join. We want to bring everything from all the tables. Everything from all the tables together. Everything from the two tables. We want to see them. Everything we want to see them in what? Our analysis. So what do we do? So click on the budgeted expenses and merge query as new. We have the left table as the budgeted table, and we have the right table here. Now, next thing we're going to look at, we want to look full outer join. Full outer join. I'm going to click on this, select the two columns that match each other, and click OK. So we have this. I'm going to select this. I'm going to click on this and click OK. Okay, let's see what happened first. Or let's select the two and see what happened here first. So we see null here, null here. We have two null. We have two null here. And there's no way we can change this. No, we can change this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to edit this expanded expenses. I'm going to click on this button here. This button here, I'm going to click on it. And I'm going to remove the category and click OK. Just OK. So we have category and bucketed expenses here. You know what is missing here is actually we have kept the left join. We kept the left. The right is what is missing, which is what? Actual expenses. The heading, two headings are missing here. What are the two headings? We have healthcare.
Healthcare.
So what we do now to make sure that everything should this is a real occasion. So in that have missing value here. But when you have to use this data so that we can make use of this missing value. Well, what you do, the column, and click on append query. Append query. Go to append. Let's append and see now. You have all list, right? Click on the category, right click on category and remove duplicates. Remove duplicates. No, hold on. That is because I expanded it earlier. Let me do it again so that we can get it right once. So let me remove it completely and remove the null. The null is what is causing the problem there. Let me remove this. Go to the budgeted merge query as new. Because we already selected full outer join. Because so when you have a null item, you have a null item like that, you select the left outer join first, or either left or right. You select one of them. So I'm going to select just left so that we'll get rid of the null. Click OK. So you can see that there's no null again now. So expand this to just have actual expenses. So we have it like this. Good. Next thing we're going to do now is what? Append the query. Let's add another actual expenses to it and click OK. Now you have it now. Now we can remove duplicates now. Right click and remove duplicate. So we have all the columns are here. Miscellaneous is here. Healthcare is here. Insurance is here. You can see the 3 columns that are different. There's no miscellaneous here. There's no healthcare here. So this is called what? Full outer join. Full outer join. Close and load. Let's see the question. There's a question surrounding that. I have a question on that. On sheet 1, the question is what expenses are either in both or both budgeted or actual or in both are either in 1 or 2. So we want to see all expenses that appears maybe in 1 table or in both tables. That's what we have got under what? Under our full join. This is it in Excel. We are in our Excel now. You can hide your query. If you like, you can hide your Power Query. So let's go back to query here. Click on the data again. Let's go back to Power Query Editor. So the next thing we're going to look at here, we have anti-join. We have 2 types of anti-join: left anti-join and right anti-join. That is what is available in left join and not in the right table. And as we know, in the left table we have miscellaneous. We have in left, but we don't have the right table. Let's see how we want to get. We want to see only expenses that we did not incur the actual cost upon. The expenses that does not have what? That does not have actual what? Actual cost. So let's try it and see how Power Query can help us with that. So select this, and we have our right table to be actual. Select the columns, and here select left and join, and click OK. So now we only have the missing item only, which is what? Miscellaneous only. So let's expand this and select only the actual expenses. Click OK. It's null. So we have what? We have this as what? As our left anti-join. I name it left anti-join. Okay. Let's look at the next one again. Can somebody try? Can you try the last one now? Right anti-join. I think we should all be able to do that now. This point, I've created so many join already. Mark as new. Um, and we have actual expenses on columns. Yeah, select what? Right anti-join. Want to see insurance and healthcare only. Just want that the actual expenses that we do not budget for. Want to see the actual expenses that nobody budgeted for them. Call. Did we add relevant expenses? Okay. So we have. Are we okay? Yeah. Okay. Let me expand this and see what happened. Is it going to be one or two? I think it should be two. Yeah. Let's click OK. Okay, we have two. So we can remove this column. Remove this column and we drag this to the front. You can see healthcare and insurance. There's no budget for them. We spend money on them. Right. We call this one right and join. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a 2-minute assignment, 2-minute classwork. I want to create something that will show all anti-join from the two tables. All anti-join from two tables. It will show healthcare, insurance, and miscellaneous. 2 minutes to solve that. 2 minutes, everyone. 2 minutes. Is it clear? Mr. Faleye, Madam
It's clear,
Alice.
sir.
Okay. I want you to
I will.
create something. Yeah, you know that we don't have it in power. In power, we have exhausted everything in Power BI. Everything Power BI, we have exhausted them. All the join, they are done. We are done with all the joins already. We only have 6 type of join. 6 type of join here. I think we have only 6 type of join. Yeah. We have left outer, right outer, full outer, inner, left anti, right anti. Finish. Now we want to see all anti join. All expenses that appear in either of the table but does not appear in two of them. I give 2 minutes to quickly solve that. Okay. Any solution to that? Okay, no problem. Let me quickly solve that. Let's solve that. At this point, we have left, we have right, anti-join. What we are going to do now is we are going to append the two together. But there's a problem here. Category dot one, category. We cannot append them. Category dot one, but this one is category. When we append them, they're going to have different columns. So it's not going to work. So let's quickly work on this one. This right away. Let me work on this. I think from expanded column here. Let me go back to source. Go back to the source. Click OK. Okay, before we expand, before we expand, we can remove this before we expand. Let's remove it so that it will not put one in front of this. So let me remove the other steps. So that we can have the same name. So let me expand it now. I think we should have it as a category now. Yeah, great. So we have two here, category. To see all the items that appear in either of the table but not in both of them, we're going to use mergers query. Oh, sorry, we're going to append query. Append query means we want to join one table to the other one. That's what we mean by append query. So let's click on append as a new table. Let's append as a new table. Append left and right anti-join together. Right and left together. And click OK. So we have it together. Oh, which table did I append? Sorry.
Yeah, left.
Aha.
You use left.
Left and right anti-join together. Yeah. Right anti,
First,
left anti. No, let me see. I think there's something is wrong somewhere. Left anti-join, right anti-join. Yes. The two tables to append together. Where do we see rent utility here? Left anti, right anti. Okay, let's remove it and do it again. You saying something, Mr. Malaya? What are you saying? Okay, let's go back here. Let's append queries as new. We appended two queries. We have two tables are what? Left anti-join, and second table is right anti-join. And click OK. Aha. So we should have just the three items because we have one here, we have two here. How come we now have plenty whatsoever? So we append the query and we call it what? All outer. All anti-join. Anti-join from both ends. Okay, that's good. So now we have everything that we want to learn under the join. Any question on that before we explore the other class? Although I've introduced the other class already, that's Groupby. I will just go to take a fast approach to solve that. Any question on join? So you can see now that when you are doing analysis, you can always use the table. Any table you want to use now, you have summarized the table. You can use your table for any analysis, anything you want to do. You have your report. And if you load it, once you load everything, close and load, you're going to see all the tables are here in your Excel workbook. All your tables are here. All your tables are here. All your tables are here. And you see them and forget it, actual sheet. So that is 1 to 7 type of join that we have in the Power Query. So let's quickly look at the other one. Okay, I talk about a pole that I push forward. So you are not seeing the pole. Okay, only one person has voted. Check there's a poll out there for you. There's a poll for everyone to actually voted on. Can you take a minute to attend to the poll? And take a minute to attend to the poll. So the person said yes, has used microphone, no to Power Query before, and maybe, yeah, great. Here's again, I want you to click on the poll and try to attend to the poll.
Is the poll in the chat box?
No, it should be under the activities there. Check the activities, you're going to see poll there. There's an active poll under the activity. Okay, so let's quickly look at group by, group by, group by, group by. What do you call group by? You remember we talked about group by when we were grouping, when we want to group all our cells to category. We did what is called group by at that point. So now we're going to look at it from this, using this data set here. And we are going to use, click on this, the same approach, go to data, and from data or table or whatever, click on this and click OK. So we have this table. This is a new table here now. Let me remove all this. I think we are done with this. We are done with all this. Okay, cannot remove. Let's remove. Let's start from the bottom. Delete, because we have built something on it. So we cannot delete that because we built so many things on those two tables there. Let me remove all this table so that we can focus on this our new table. Delete. 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 So I think we can remove these two now. They are removable now, since we have removed everything that was built on them. Okay, great. Okay, so we have successfully removed all those tables. We want to focus on this new table. Let's give it a name. What do you call it? Sales table. Sales table. So let's look at the data we have here. We have order ID, product, and category, quantity sold, unit price, and that, customer ID, customer name, and the rest. So we have it like this. Okay, let's quickly let's do two things first. Let's click on this, go to add column, and let's add year column. Let's add the year column, and click on the date again. Under the date, okay, let's create name of month. Let's just extract those two things. Oh, during the, oh God, there's something I'm supposed to show you there. What about, we are comparing them. What about if you want to calculate the difference between them? All you have been doing so far. Okay, we always use add custom column, but I will have used something else to showcase that. Okay, maybe I'm going to try it under this place if we get something like that here. So let's quickly summarize this. Let's go back to Home tab, and we want to group by. Group by, when you click on group by, you have various options here. The basic one we did earlier is to group by what? We group by, you can, let's say you want to see all the product. You can group by product, and call it product sales. Product sales. Let's call it product sales. By what? How do we get product sales? We want to sum, which column are we summing together? To sum the total sales here. And click OK. Can you see? So we have all the product and total sales. Each product and the amount of sales we made from each of the products. Of that. Yeah. You're welcome. Please, you can be muted. Is that clear? How we summarize the product? So that is how to use group by option. Okay, let's do one more thing again. Let me remove the step we took. Let me remove the step. Oh, I've removed the month also. Let me return the month. I've removed the month. Go back to the add query, add column, and add month name of month. So we have the month name here. And one good thing about this Power Query is that it doesn't require so much formula to do anything. It's basically about clicking. Just click. Once you know what to click, the machine will do the remaining thing for you. Just on rare occasion will you have reasons to calculate anything in Power Query. Very rare, on very rare occasion. And those calculations are they are just like a simple calculations that you're going to do. Let's look at something else. Like Mr. Falaya, you asked a question. If we can have the month, or we have something after we group our data. Let's look at it from this perspective now. Go to Home tab, click on the group by, then select advanced. We now have advanced now. Advanced. So under the advanced, we already want to group by what? Let's group by product again. By product again. Let's add grouping now. We want to add another group. That's when you can want to add another group now. You can see another group now. Let's also add after the product. Let's add by what? Let's use month or year. Let's use year. What are we getting? What do you want to get? We want to get our yearly sales. Product yearly sales. Product yearly sales that I want to get. So how do we get it? Okay, let's say we don't want to sum. Okay, or we don't want to sum. We want to count number of sales, number of order that we have. Let's count row. Which row are we counting? Let's count number of orders. That is a count row function. Count rows. We only want to count number of rows that we have. But I think, would that work for this product yearly sales? No. Let's use sum. Or we sum the quantity sales. Product quantity sales. We can sum the quantity sales, quantity sold, rather, or total sales. Let's click OK. Can you see now that we now have a year column because we've added what? We've added it. We now have a year column now. Mr. Falaye, does that answer your question? Hello? Hello? Am I still online?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to be sure I'm still with you. So you can see now that we are able to add a new column to this. Okay. So that is that. What happened if we want to pivot it? You remember we unpivot something. We use unpivot earlier. What happened if we want to pivot the sales? We have 2 years, 2013, 2014. We want 2013, 2014 to be at the top. Okay. We want 2013 and 2014 to be at the top. That is called pivot, right? What do we do? Just select the column, go back to transform. This time around, you see pivot column. If you select more than one column, you have on pivot. But now we have only one column. We want to do what? We want to pivot it. Click on pivot column, and based on what? We want to pivot the column based on the yearly sales. The value that we show will be what? Yearly sales. Click OK. Can see the year under each of them. 2023, 2024. Okay, I wanted to show something before. We want to know difference between like I said earlier during the first class, on the join. Assuming we want to find difference between them, you can just come under your what do you call it here? I think the same thing, right? What's happening? Okay, sorry. I cannot do that under transform because I want to create a new column. If I want to create a new column, if I want to do working with this one, I can do work here. But let me quickly do what I want to do here. This column and this column together, then click on add column. Which column am I adding? I want to know the difference between them, or I want to add them together. I want to divide them. I want to find the average between them. I can just quickly use subtract now, and we have a new column. This minus this within having a new column without having to do the formula by ourselves. We can also we can also use addition again to know the total sales by adding what? I just use select the two, add a new column, and the add together. Bum, 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 bum. So that is what we have when we click let me load something. There's something I wrote here. Which there's something we have here under this, that is sheet 2, where we have total sales by category by month. Okay, so that's by customer and product in pivot format. The product in pivot format, but in this case, we have used product and year only. We've used the product and year to do that. So if we want to use customer, we can also do the same thing. Let's quickly do that. We are running out of time. Okay, good. Let me remove this. Okay, we're going to group by what? Group by customer, or let's group by customer name, and let's see which product they buy. Sorry, advanced. Add grouping. What are we using? What are we using as the default? Read from your end, please. I forgot. What are we using as the pivot heading? Is it product or category? Hello? Let me read from your hand. Is it product or category we are using?
Product, sir.
Product, okay, thank you. So I'm adding another column, which is called product. I'm going to call it total sales, sales value, by what? By summing the total sales column. Click OK. So we want to do what? We want to pivot this. We want to pivot this. Click on this, go to transform and pivot column by adding the sales value together. So you can see this Alice, you can see what each person has bought. So he bought widget A, widget C, widget D. That's all. He didn't buy other ones. So you can see how each of them has transacted with us. So if you close this, it's going to load. You load it to your Excel. You can see now. You can see what each of them has bought and the product they have subscribed to. So that's the simple way by which we can use group by and pivot and Power Query in Microsoft Excel. The same thing with Power BI, the same Power Query. The same thing we do here, you can do everything using your Power Query in the Power BI also. So, any question? Any question? Any question? Any question? So, before we round
Sorry,
it up,
I want to know, when will the video be shared?
once it's ready, I'm going to share the video.
Okay.
Once it's ready, I'm going to share the video. So, the next class we're going to start, for those of us who are interested in joining the next class. So I'm going to start the next class by August 3, by God's grace. I'm starting the next set of class, a 10 weeks class. This is just a tip of what we're going to learn. This is a Power Query. Those who have attended our classes, you know how far we go in depth to explain each of the concepts that we have. And as a beginner, we always take our time to explain all the basics. We know when you know the basics, to develop that or to build on that will not be difficult. So the next class is going to start by August 3. A 10 weeks class, 10 weeks training, and like about 6 hours every week. We're going to spend like 6 hours weekly. That is 60 hours class. That's about 60 hours class that we're going to have. And the cost of the training is going to be 80K, 80,000 naira, which you can split like into 60%, 40%. What we're going to cover in the training, we're going to learn some basic things about. We have one, Microsoft Excel for business analytics. We're going to learn Microsoft Excel for business analytics. So we're going to have knowledge. We're going to learn how to use Power BI, Microsoft Power BI. We're going to learn that also. We use Power BI for more analysis. There are some analysis that you cannot do with Excel, especially with Power Pivot or Pivot Table. So how do we use Power BI to solve the problem for business intelligence as a business intelligence tool? We're going to learn that. Then we'll learn the Microsoft SQL server training too. How do you query your server? How do you query server for your analysis? Then we learn Tableau. Tableau is a data visualization that is a leading tool around the world for data visualizations. The leading tool, very robust and very flexible in the way it works. Then finally, we talk about Python for data analysis, and we are adding AI for data analytics and problem-solving techniques for root cause analysis and business optimization. This will include how to think like a data analyst. We call it thinking like a data analyst. So all these are going to cover in the space of 10 weeks. And one thing we're going to do also to ensure that we have the required knowledge is to generate project portfolio for us. We give us assignment, we work on different portfolio. And those who have attended our class and have practiced their work or the project can testify to the fact it will strengthen your confidence in data analytics. Because if you don't practice, you think you'll be afraid to even to approach when you see a new data, very different, looking like something you never see before. But when you work on all this project, you're going to have the confidence to attack any form of data that is placed into your hand. So we're going to give 80,000 naira training for those who are going to join the virtual training, and for those who are asking for physical training. Now we are launching our physical training soon, and if you can make it, our location is in Ipaja, that is Alimosho Local Government in Lagos State. We don't have any other outlet outside Lagos. The only place we have now for physical training is in Ipaja in Lagos State here. So if you want to come for the physical training, going to take 130,000 for the same training. And for people who are doing part payment, we want all payment to be completed by the end of the third week. That is, if you are joining and if you are not paying in full, you are doing part payment, we want all payment to be completed by the end of the third week. That means by the fourth week, we want all payment completed. That is what we have for us in this cohort. So we're going to start the class August 3rd. It's going to be August, September, and the class is going to end by the mid of October. And for those of us who are still thinking whether to join or not, you have free 2 days training. That is, the training for August 3 and August 4 is going to be free for all. August 3, which is day 1, the first weekend is going to be free for everyone. If you are interested in joining, you are free to join the first 2 training at no cost at all. If you feel it's something that's worth it, you can join. You can pay and join from the third. And if you are thinking over it, or you cannot afford to pay now, or you are busy, you are doing something, maybe another project or whatever, then you can join the next subsequent cohort. So thank you for your time. And for those of us who are on LinkedIn, so we can always connect on LinkedIn. My name is Hakim Mustafa ACA on LinkedIn. Perhaps let me try and share my this thing here. Okay. Always see my screen here. No. Let me share here. I think. Okay. So we should have it here. And you can also follow us on LinkedIn. Follow Bottom of the Concept on LinkedIn also. So if you have any question before we round it up, this is the time to ask your question now. Let's ask our question. Any question? And if you have any other topics that you want us to also tackle on the LinkedIn, on Excel, you can also you can feel free to share it within the group also. Feel free to share within the group. Yep. Okay. So this is it. This is me. You can see Akim Mustafa on LinkedIn. And the LinkedIn profile is what? LinkedIn Akim Mustafa ACA. So you can always see that and connect. Let's connect. And also you can follow Bottom of the Concept. So know whenever we are having new whatever, you always be contacted too. And also, if you have not filled any of our form or you want to join of our group, you can also reach out to me so that each time you have any new training, you will be aware and you'll be contacted for both free and our paid training. So you can follow Bottom of the Concept on LinkedIn also, feel free to join us and follow our little business. Thank you very much for your time. Any question? If there's no question, I think we can um call it a day. Okay. Oh, are they? Are there? I think we have people who have attended our class here before. Anybody here? Anybody here? Mr. Falaya.
Thank you, Mr. Hakim.
Oh,
Coach
Mr. Amu, you
Hakim.
are there. Yeah.
Yeah, me, I've attended before, and I know that is of a great value. And I believe that with what you have done today, many people will still join. But I actually wanted to join to revise. That's why I said, let me join too.
It's always good to always, learning is a continuous thing.
Yes,
You
yes.
can't know it all. You
Yeah,
always
yeah.
continue to learn and learn and learn also.
At my appropriate time, I will still join some of the training later too. I
Yeah, we
told you
have other
before.
trainings. Yeah. So for those who are interested in any of our training, you can always reach out to me. We do both um, in-house training, and we also do the external training, just like this. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Bye. Goodbye.
Thank you. Yeah, bye bye. Thank you. Yeah.
Bye bye.
Yeah, bye bye.
Bye.
ètò ẹ̀ tí mo ṣe yìí nǹkan. Gbogbo ẹ̀ ni mo.
chairman of today's election, about my capital of the SBC. Mashallah. Wọ́n ti dé program mi, wọ́n ti dé program.